Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Hopefully you're all having a decent Monday, despite the market turmoil that Monday has blessed us with. That's what we're going to be getting into in this video. You guys know that we've been maintaining a bias now that Bitcoin is going to see more downside, and we're going to start things off on the macro view, looking at things. Then we're going to break it down. We're going to get into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at a very critical level right now. Any kind of deviation below and back above January's low is something I'm actually potentially going to look to long the market. Also, we've got the CPI print coming out tomorrow for the United States. This is key data to watch, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, just as I'm actually doing this video, I've just got a message on my phone saying you've seen the markets today. And I think that's, markets are an extreme fear, and somewhat rightfully so. But I also think that people get very complacent to the short side during times like this, and that's how they get wrecked as traders. We've been putting our trades, and we even posted a near trade. It's actually gone our way since we posted it earlier. And you guys know we've been shorting altcoins. I make no beef about it. At the end of the day, I'm a trader, I'm an investor. And I ultimately think that crypto is going to come out the other end of this, and that's where the investment side of me, and you guys know I still hold a lot of my spot crypto for the long term. But let's get into it all, guys. Let's not waffle on for too long, as we always do. Your markets are down in the dumps. The tone was really set from Friday's close for the equity market. We got the non-farm data payroll, which we told you guys to watch, and that actually came out. It overshot. They had added more jobs to the economy. This gives Jerome Powell the right and the sort of credibility to do what he's doing. And this is something that we've been watching here on the charts, guys. We've essentially been looking at where we are on these long-term regression bands for Bitcoin. And we've been saying when you're well above it, look, guys, chances are you're going to come back below it, given where we've previously been in downtrends and how we've interacted with this level. And you can see that has indeed been the case in more of a sort of 2018 fashion than a 2014 one. And this is really what we're looking at. We've also got the death cross for the 3-day. This all leads me to believe that there is more downside to come, ladies and gentlemen. However, given where Bitcoin currently is, it's going to be very, and we'll take off the long-term regression bands, then we'll dive into altcoins and talk about a number of other things. It's going to be very telling, and this is going to be a messy chart, what Bitcoin does at these levels. This is what I'm looking for. What we'll do actually is I'll just wipe the chart and then I'll put some levels back on. So this essentially is the range that we're trading for Bitcoin right now. And I wouldn't even put that as the range. I'd say that was a deviation. And you've got a mid-range right around here, guys. There's roughly drawn, not perfect mid-range. But essentially, you can see where Bitcoin is. It's come back to test January's lows. Now, I've said, and this is why you want to be careful shorting this market, if we get a deviation, just like this was a deviation to the upside, you came back in, you failed to hold it, means you're probably going to your midterm target. If we get a deviation of this, we come down, we deviate, we come back above it, hold it, you are going to look for a pump this week, potentially. And that could be on the back end of the CPI data reveal. If this comes out lower, it shows that inflation is peaking, or at least that is the impression that it will give markets. And they will act very positively, I think, on the back end of a lower CPI print. Adverse to that, though, if it comes out higher, and remember, these things have often undershot. Sometimes they've been on the money, but often they're usually the consensus is a little bit lower than what actually comes out. That, I think, is actually going to be very detrimental for markets and see further downside, and then we actually fail to reclaim some of these levels. But if you're shorting this right now, and we're still short altcoins, I'm likely to take all my shorts off, though, going into tomorrow's CPI. I mean, the FOMC actually had open shorts on there. That was a mistake that I won't be making again. Now, because I only use light leverage, and if you're going to trade this market, and if you're going to trade with leverage, don't use high leverage. You'll blow your account up. It's so easy to do. And what you got to remember when you're trading altcoins is they can do 20% in an 8-hour period, even less in a volatile, macroeconomically driven market that we're currently in. And certainly when markets are already looking for relief, tomorrow may provide that. But the ultimate thesis that I have moving forwards for Bitcoin is if we do get that relief rally, you may come to sort of this 37K range, and you may get some sort of, you may not even get the deviation of this mid-range. And I think that will then set us up for lower momentum, potentially taking us back down to your sort of 29, 28K range. That's what I am looking at, guys, moving forwards. And then that's cross-referenced with our macro time frame view, that this market still has lower to go. And the reason this market has lower to go, guys, is because we're in a monetary tightening cycle. You know, and we've not seen the full ramifications of this. We've not seen the liquidity issues that it causes. And that's going to slow markets down and continue. You know, we haven't got right now, for me to start getting excited again, guys, we really need to sort of come back above this sort of 46K range. Something like this, you know, we need to get above this sort of zone here, actually come back above it, hold it, and then look for that continuation. I can't see that. Still is a potential, but I can't see that in the current market that we're in. We got out of our Luna short yesterday, which was a great short. And this was before we even, you know, we were in this short before we had the LFG, you know, the Luna UST peg actually become depegged for a period of time. And there's a lot going on there. I think UST, which is Luna's native stablecoin, is actually going to become a bit of a problem moving forward. Certainly if these markets continue to go down, I think that's going to be very detrimental for the stablecoin, which of course is algorithmically backed. It's not backed one-to-one with a dollar. You know, you can't go and get it for $1, but it's backed by crypto, which is volatile. So, I mean, it's not great news for markets, but it's what we've got. And I was actually on the phone to somebody this morning saying, look, I hope you've got some cash on the sidelines, because when this market comes down to where it's going, and I think there is still more downside, I wouldn't be surprised if we put a toe above this and then see what happens. But when these markets get to where they're going, it's going to be an amazing buying opportunity. Just to reiterate the fact that crypto is not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And in fact, you know, it's going to do very, very well over the long term. Short term, though, however, we're caught up in everything going on macroeconomically. You know, you've got to remember, March 2020, still one of the most significant events I think we'll find in market history. Markets got pumped with liquidity, and now we're at the other end of that. And in actual fact, not only are they not being pumped with liquidity and held up via the Fed's actually looking to take away from it and actually not damage the situation, but sort of tame inflation via killing off the markets. We'll take a quick look at the opening for the S&P futures. Of course, the market for the stock market in the US actually isn't open yet, but the futures is already coming in negative. And I think I was watching the FTSE this morning, which is having a real bad day. This echoes over to the crypto space, guys. Take a quick look at Bitcoin dominance. You know, we have been saying that your Bitcoin dominance is likely to sort of make a move upwards. You know, you're showing strength within this falling wedge, actually. So it's all very interesting what's taking place. The DXY, just to quickly go over, we've actually called for the DXY going to sort of $1.08, that kind of range, where many are looking for a pullback. Guess what? I don't see a reason why the DXY would pull back, given everything the Fed's doing, and not only that, given how your currencies that are pegged against it and make up the DXY. The DXY is showing strength against the likes of the euro, the yen, and a number of other things. I think the euro is in big trouble. And this all echoes and affects markets. And we've not even spoken about the debt markets. We have them previously, but not on this video, because there's just so much going on. It's not a risk appetite market. So watch this. You don't want to be shorting, in my opinion, this level, because I think, again, when you couple that, you don't want to be shorting a Fed data reveal full stop, I don't think, because we've seen just how volatile markets are to it. But if you get a deviation below this, you know, you're potentially looking at upside. That's what we're looking for, maybe to enter along. I'll close all my shorts today at some point, just because I don't want to be holding them into tomorrow's CPI print. And certainly given just how much markets have already sold off. And I think there's more to come, but I can definitely see a rally ensuing over the next couple of days. And then we get that downside continuation. And what we do here is going to be critical. What we do in this sort of sub 30K range is going to be extremely telling. But for now, our bias is, look, nothing's changed on the macro picture. In actual fact, things seem to be getting worse. I was listening and watching a video on the situation in Sri Lanka, and there's plenty of other countries across the world that have a similar situation at play, but they're you know, financially crippled at this point. You know, this all factors into everything. And when we're going into a Fed tightening cycle, you know, and they are determined to do it at this point, that sees, I think, further downside for markets. A bottom will come. When exactly that will be, you know, we will keep you up to date, and we'll get those sort of signs in the market. We'll also get those sort of signals from the likes of the Fed. But this is just what we've got to deal with, guys. And there's no point in, I know people get that bought up at the top, you know, very disheartened and upset, but you've got to be in it to win it. You know, markets don't care about your feelings. They're, you know, very good at extracting money from impatient hands into patient hands. And this is something that, you know, if you're determined to hodl, you guys know I still hold a lot of my spot crypto. But I'm also shorting the derivatives market, just basically as a hedge, if you will. And also to capitalize on downward price movement. Then, you know, you've got to be in this to win this, and you've got to understand that this is a long-term game. And for anybody looking to accumulate, and you guys are all going to have the opportunity, I believe, there's so many altcoins out there that are just going to be a lot cheaper than they currently are. You know, and you're going to be able to get the opportunity to get them at a lot lower price. The near short seems to be actually working in our favor. The other shorts that we've got on with Rune, we've been short since up here. Luna, we were short up here, guys, and we got this whole spill. And I still think there's more downside, but I wouldn't be shorting Luna here. I would actually be, and you can see it's finding somewhat support, looking for a move to the upside, some sort of deviation, and then potentially getting back in. So that is really it, guys. Watch out for the CPI tomorrow. It's going to be extremely telling and set the direction for markets moving forwards. We'll see how the actual stock market opens later. Let's quickly talk about, I mean, wow, what have we got here? Yeah, this is what we're potentially looking at. I don't know when I even did this drawing. This, of course, is the total. This is the total too. You know, realistically, there's no reason, if we keep going down, that the total too can't sell off significantly more. And that would kind of fit the basis and the bias that I've got for altcoins moving forwards. I think there's more downside to come, to be honest, across the board. So yeah, that's really all I've got for you guys. If you've enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment. And we have got some really exciting things. I want to release a newsletter to kind of help people. I know people can't watch videos every single day. So we are going to be releasing a newsletter that people can get involved with, where we'll give you a hit at the start of the week, everything going on in markets and what to look out moving forward. All I have for you in this one, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video.